Hey folks, Travis here. This is False. This week on the program, we talked mostly about the workers in Bessemer, Alabama, and their fight to unionize against Amazon. We also introduced a new segment called Respect the Grift and reviewed the Kfc Pizza Hut Popcorn Pizza. I don't know. Mo talks about it. He seems to love it. You can support us as you always do at patreon.com/thisisfalse. You can follow us on social media at thisisfalsepod, and you can email us at thisisfalsepodcast@protonmail.com. Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Kit, Mo, Ev, Travis.
Where's Mo?
This is False.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh.
Yeah, there he is. Whoop, whoop.
Mo is once again a superimposed face on a wrestler. I don't know which one yet.
We're going to go with wrestler again?
Yeah.
I think we need to go with boy bands.
Okay, yeah, no.
Ooh.
You're right.
Yeah.
As long as I can be Justin or AJ, I would kill for an AJ Photoshop.
Well, we gotta. NSYNC is the official boy band of This Is False now because we discovered that NSYNC is actually communist because Bella Ciao Ciao Ciao. Bye bye bye. How did we not see this shit before?
I
NSYNC
Practice.
literally means unity.
Yeah.
That
trying
is
to
some
tell us.
practice right there.
don't know. That's awesome.
The sure means seatbelts, but NSYNC means communism.
Hey Mo, can you talk for a second?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. I just want to make sure you're actually registering on the thing. We didn't have a repeat because I'm not doing this twice.
So I've
No.
been waiting like 5 days to hear about your first installation of our newest segment.
Yeah, we have a segment that we kind of did because we had an episode called Respect the Grift back in the day. Back in the day, it was like 2 months ago. But we're going to turn that into a segment, much like we did with ACAB for Cutie.
Yes.
So this one, Respect the Grift. We have a policy on this podcast of doing that. Oh man, I'm an idiot. Hold on, I made a thing in Discord and there's now something up in front of everybody's face. There we go. Okay. We're good.
You're professional.
We're fucking professional.
Well, we're professional.
Hey, we did 2 episodes of the same thing last week and they were both good.
Yeah.
So I figured we should, whenever we find a good grift out there on the internet, maybe it's historical, maybe it's contemporary, that we need to talk about it. So the first entry into This Is False, Respect the Grift. Are you ready?
excited.
Here's the headline. Man faked his own kidnapping, quote, because he didn't want to go to work.
He's so
Yeah.
I love man.
Yeah, man has a name.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to these bootlickers at Global News, though. Just listen. Maybe I shouldn't be blaming Global News. This is probably like, no, it is Global News. Okay, listen to these bootlickers. Sometimes you just don't want to go to work. Maybe you suck it up and go anyway, or maybe you call in sick. Perhaps you make up a fake emergency such as a burst pipe in a house or a death in your family. Like, yeah, okay, if you want to be basic about it,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
I guess. Or maybe you tie yourself up and throw yourself on the side of the road to fake your own kidnapping.
It's fucking amazing.
That's what
Did
a
they not
man.
think the police would be involved?
That's what a man did to get out of a hump day shift work at work on Wednesday, according to police and court records in the town of Coolidge, Arizona. Brandon Sulis, 19, has since pleaded guilty to reporting false information to law enforcement. Solis beat himself up, tied his hands with his own belt, stuck a bandana in his mouth, and threw himself on the side of the road to fake the kidnapping on February 10th, according to local police. He also fabricated a complex story about his rich father, a trove of buried cash in the desert,
What?
and 2 masked kidnappers who didn't care that he would miss his shift at an auto shop in
They
town.
just didn't care. They just didn't care.
Listen, I have to be at O'Reilly's for 4 o'clock.
They didn't care.
Oh.
They
Listen,
just wanted
I'll
that sweet desert booty.
pay the ransom. We'll pay that ransom. Just let me go to work at my minimum wage job. Like, I really just don't want to disappoint my shift manager, please.
But guys,
Did you tell your boss we don't care?
I have to go to work.
Can I use this scam? Can we just do this? Can we all just get fake kidnapped? Allegedly, and just
But I do have
oh, sorry.
questions.
There are so many questions.
So this was just to get out of one Wednesday.
Well, yeah, I would use this for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
I'd
you
be
could
like,
get
oh,
lot
sorry.
of effort.
Yeah.
There's so much. We're in a pandemic. Just say you have a sore throat. You get 3 weeks off. I don't understand.
Save the kidnapping grift for like a year from now if you still have your job.
I just don't. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I respect the grift,
You gotta respect the grift.
but I'm saying part of the grift is that you put minimal effort into doing the thing.
You went too big, buddy. You went too big.
Too big, too early.
Yeah.
He beat himself up,
That's amazing.
tied his hands with his own belt, stuck a bandana in his mouth, and threw himself on the side of the road.
So
He also fabricated a complex story about his rich father, a trove of buried cash in the desert, and 2 masked kidnappers.
this is amazing. This is
Is that
so
because the
amazing.
boss had follow-up questions? Like, I want to. No, I'm just texting because I'm kidnapped. There's treasure.
Sorry, I
in the...
can't come into work today. I'm tied up in the desert. There's a treasure hunt going on here. My
My
rich
dad is
father.
rich.
My dad's super rich, which is why I work at the fucking auto shop.
This is amazing. So like, you go the beating first, then handkerchief, then you tie your hands together. Wait, did he tie himself up with rope first?
How did he take the picture?
There is a picture.
What?
Yeah. There is
Oh,
a picture.
please. We need to put that up.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to see. You can search the story. I haven't figured out how to put it up, and so everyone can see it.
It's
That's the problem.
important that becomes our title photo for this episode. I feel very strongly
It's just a
about
dude
this.
in the desert with a belt tying it. Yeah, like someone took the picture. I mean,
Does
maybe
he
because it
look-
was ransom, right? Like,
This makes
Does
me
it look
so
legit? Like, does he look restrained, or does it look like
yeah, he looks.
he's
like,
holding the belt with his knees or something?
Hey man, you gotta
the belt
go.
is off his pants. His pants are down a little bit, and they're tied in his wrist, his face. It's a thing.
Little bums hanging out.
Well, he's got like dark colored
I can't go
boxers
to
on,
work.
so you can't really see anything. And he's like skinny, so you can't really. There's no like badonkadonk hanging out.
Fucking god.
You're gonna kick your own ass. Maybe just say, I fell.
Or
I got
say-
my ass kicked.
Say I've been exposed to someone with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so many
I
easier
need to
things.
go get a test.
But then again, that would not make it into respect the grift because
true.
That's just
No.
a thing that everyone's done at some point.
Yeah, that's the poor man's grift. The, fuck it, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
he
put
was
any effort.
he was fired from his job.
What? Come on.
So
he
now
put a
he's
lot of work into
sore.
Obviously, he's gonna get fired from his job.
What's up, Mo?
I don't know about that. I feel like they should have respected how much work he put into it. You know.
Thank you. That's
Really,
what I'm
he needed a
saying.
day off.
I mean, yeah, if I was
Like-
his boss, I'd have been like, dude, you can just ask for the day off.
Like, you're for sure adding initiative to your resume after that.
yeah, 100%.
Like, I take the bull by the horns. I have initiative, and I think outside of the box.
Yeah.
I am a planner.
A planner, yeah.
Like, but how bad must that job have been?
I don't know, but that man is fucking management material. I'll tell you what.
And now he might have a severance package.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's probably firing with cause.
They probably don't have a clause in their contract.
It's Arizona
for
too. Who knows
fake
what kind of
kidnappings.
fucking bullshit labor law exists in Arizona?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh man, that's hilarious, and I'm so
The
happy.
police were quoted as saying, quote, "Our community is still safe. There are not 2 masked men running around kidnapping people that you know of, motherfuckers."
Yeah, how dare you say that?
You know what? If you're a
They
kidnapper
are
in
those
Arizona,
people.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, exactly.
That's them.
But if you're a legit kidnapper in Arizona, now's your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab a buddy and
There's the grift.
yeah,
Breathe
exactly.
easy.
Maybe his next job is kidnapping with a buddy.
There you go.
Like he already knows kind of how to do it. I don't know.
The read more section here says bear bites woman's bare bottom from outhouse and toilet in Alaska. Global news, folks.
Oh, fuck.
Global news, bringing you the hot fucking topics of the day.
Here I was afraid of spiders.
Oh my god. That I'm so happy that we have this segment now because we talk about a lot of stuff, the cops, the politics. But what I really want to hear
Capitalisms.
are the hard-hitting stories about grifts.
Yeah.
It's so good. So, do you guys want to hear about my week?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, do it.
So, what happened was, as we have discussed on maybe one previous episode where I had gained employment,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so I had gained some employment, and when the boss offered me the job, the boss man said, "Hey,
Ham sandwich.
yes, ham sandwich. I refer to him as ham sandwich because he's a disgusting fuck." Anyway, so he had hired me to design furniture from the comfort of my own home, and I accepted because that's a dope ass job.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went into work, he said, "I'm gonna need you to come into the office," and I said, "Cool. When?" And he was like, "Monday to Friday." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So I did that.
You don't have a car that can handle that.
Oh yeah, my car fully cannot handle
Yeah,
that.
we've discussed the 2008 Ford Escape situation on
Yeah,
this.
it's not
And
great.
it was in Chatham.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't in Windsor.
yeah, the commute is about an hour and 15 minutes away. So that rounded out to, I did this drive for until Friday.
Yeah.
And then I texted my boss and I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just kindly ask you to like stand by your word, maybe offer me, like, let me work the job that you offered me, because that would be really great." And according to me, I quit another job to a higher paying job to take this one, which, because I lied all the time.
Well, you didn't accept a potentially higher paying job.
Yeah, I
because of
did
it.
get offered a
You got
potentially...
another job.
I did, and
that
I
you
turned it
turned
down. Yeah, so anyway, I did that, and I texted my boss, and I was like, "Hey man, this isn't working out for me. It's costing me $500 a month," which is true. I do not have time for that. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, he said, "Wow, that's a really tough situation, and I certainly understand. I think you're gonna need to resign." And I was like, "Qu'est-ce que fuck?" Like, what? And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, dude," I almost said his name.
The job that you
Ham
applied
sandwich.
for.
Yeah, I was like, "Ham sandwich, sir."
The job he offered you didn't even apply for it. He came to you.
Yeah, I didn't apply for it. He just said, he called me one day and was like, "Hey, you want to design some furniture?" Yeah,
Sorry, I got some processed ham in my throat for a second there.
Do you like mayonnaise? Can you come work for me?
Oh, fuck.
The skin on the ham, it just went down my throat.
Dude, I can't even look at ciabatta buns anymore because I'm just like, I'm picturing them covered in spittle. Anyway.
Ciabatta and spittle.
Ciabatta and spittle.
like-
Anyway, so he asked me to resign, so I was like, okay, like, obviously I'm gonna have to do that if you're asking me to, or, I could just get you to fire me. But basically what he said was, "You resign, get yourself a business, and then we'll hire you as a contractor for your services. And then we'll just have to hire another person to do the phone answering and all of the other shit work that we were planning on sneaking into your role in the first place." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So I'll do that because I need the money." And then the design program that I was going to use, I walked into the office on Monday and I was like, "Hey, I brought my laptop. I'm just going to download AutoCAD so I can get some drawings done." And he was like, "Well, whoa. You're your own business. You have to buy AutoCAD." And I was like,
What?
"I don't have $1,600 to spend on AutoCAD." He was like, "Well, I don't know." So that happened. 2 days, no.
Would it have affected them to let you use their AutoCAD?
No, because they're...
They have a business license already. They could just...
You have to add another seat, which is the same amount of money. Like, it's not super easy, but they already weren't using it. I started there and I said, "You need to have AutoCAD." And they said, "Okay." And now suddenly, 3 weeks later, they're using it all the time, which nobody else there knows how to use it. Anyway, so I go home, I take my personal laptop, stick it in my vehicle, drive home, because I'm basically fun employed now. So then, cool, Josh, good move. So then I forget that my, precious laptop is in my vehicle. I just do my normal lock. I'm assuming it worked. Go in the house, fall asleep, whatever. Wake up the next morning, go out. All of the shit in my vehicle, like, my vehicle's usually messy, but this was extra level messy. All of my consoles were open, and I was like, "Oh fuck." So then I walk around.
Oh.
Yeah, someone broke into my fucking car, stole my laptop, and so now, even if I wanted to...
and he offered you work.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the thing. He
yeah.
offered you work right away.
Yeah, the day that I was leaving.
And you're like, I can't take it now because my fucking laptop got stolen.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna call you on Monday. We're gonna talk about this, and then my fucking laptop got stolen. So I was like, dude, I literally can't do anything. So
hey, if you're out
The
there,
universe seriously did not want you to work with that guy in the most shitty way.
which
Yeah.
is actually makes sense because he is kind of a piece of shit.
but still, you need money, and
I
like,
do need
and
money.
You need a
That's
laptop.
so fucked up. I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah,
So-
I don't like.
So if you're out there listening and like you got a spare $1,200,
Yeah,
send it on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/thisisfalse one-time donation.
Hey.
I will
Or you
literally-
can just hand it to Ev. By the way, there's a little bit of money in the Patreon, not much. It's like a couple $100. And for transparency's sake, I'm giving that to Ev. I hope everybody's cool with it. I wasn't gonna touch it because we haven't fulfilled any like thing yet for our patrons, and I
Dude.
feel kind of bad for it. But
here's the
you
other
have
thing.
stuff though.
Yeah, we have stuff, and
We have
also
stuff that we're gonna send out. that
I
we're
now
gonna-
have a lot of time.
Also, Kid is one of our patrons.
Oh fuck! Thanks, Kit.
Hey, I'm on the show now. I guess that's what that's my tier. I'm on the show level tier.
Yeah.
I don't
you're
know.
a
I
host.
just like I don't really want to take the Patreon money because I can figure it out, and I don't want.
Well, it's already coming into my account, and I'm just gonna spend it on like fucking Swedish berries and shit. So like, if you want to just take the money, that would be great.
What if we both got Swedish berries? Hear me out. Mo, you bring the Fago. Kit, you bring at least 2 kitties.
Ooh.
Deal. Can be done. Each.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. 2 kitties each.
We all lay on the floor, eat Swedish berries, and the kitties
Drink
are like,
Faygo.
"Meow." Yeah.
We're
Anyway.
gonna spend $250 on this.
I don't know.
It's like 246 or something like
Like,
that. But
we can get a lot of Swedish berries. I'm just saying, like if you buy
Yeah.
bulk. Anyway,
well, you're,
so
taking,
Right.
you're taking the money. You need to get a laptop, and 240 is like a good start to get something, and just take it and shut up.
Yeah, you could at least get like financed or something with that.
Yeah.
You know, some
finance.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Nobody was no.
Nobody's giving you money.
Nobody's giving.
No.
But thank you. I that's great. Let's continue talking about other things that aren't focused on me because now I'm nervous.
Okay.
So before we get into our the beef of the day,
The buff.
the main course, Muhammad Akbar, you have a review for us. I
Oh
hear.
my god.
Oh, I got several. I don't even know where to start.
I'm so happy.
Okay, so several episodes ago, we talked about the many newfangled tools with which KFC is marketing their beautiful, amazing, beautiful chicken. So we talked
Putting
about
a gaming computer that keeps your nuggies warm.
A dramatic love movie.
No one wants
Hey,
cold chicky tundies. Tendies.
yeah, a computer with warm tendies that are cooled by your metal graphics processor. Good old Cobalt with your chicken there. The movie that they did with who was it? What was the network?
Mario
it-
Lopez.
Oh,
What was
poor
the
Mario.
network it aired on though? Was it on W or was it on Home something?
Oxygen. I don't know, one of
Oxygen.
those.
I don't remember what it was, but yeah, they had a movie, like a daytime movie.
Have
They
we
had
not watched
sneakers.
that? We should watch
I
it.
don't think so. We should.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
we
anything
should.
with Mario Lopez in it since at least 1998.
That's
for
fair.
a fact.
That's fair.
Oh wait, no, he's like a host on some shit. I don't watch that.
We're all
shit.
gonna watch it. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna
Yeah.
do a commentary.
Poor Mario.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Oh,
Keep going.
what do you mean? He gets to play the Colonel. That's my dream
Is that
role.
what he played?
Yeah.
Played Colonel Sanders.
Sexy Colonel. Sexy Colonel Sanders.
Who the fuck is doing
Oh
your
my
casting?
God.
What do you mean? It's the perfect.
Listen.
He
Okay.
really
Slater.
believes in his recipe.
They also had sneakers. There was the sneakers.
Oh my
They did a contest with. You need to see these sneakers. They're so ugly.
Oh,
It's terrible.
I want to meet their branding manager.
I want to too. Whoever it is a legend because these are the kinds of ideas I would come up with if
They
I was
also-
ever in.
Yeah, exactly. They also definitely smoke weed, like 100%.
Real primo bud.
Only the best
Okay.
for the Colonel. Anyway, continue.
Okay, but
Sorry.
for a month they did the coolest promotion because the company that owns KFC also owns, I believe, Taco Bell No, not Taco Bell. I think it's like Wendy's and Pizza Hut or something like that. I forget the three, but
I
there's
think
like
it's KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
I think so too.
or it might be Tim
I want the
Hortons. I
Taco
don't
Bell.
remember.
I'm on the combination King's Pizza.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Well, they
that-
own a-
what I'm saying is I think that's what it is, yes.
Whatever it is. Long story short, they're owned by the same company. So some genius had the idea of like, what if we took like a pizza, okay, and we put a little bit of gravy in there,
Oh.
and then we just tossed on like a bunch of popcorn chicken and just
my
called it a pizza.
Jesus.
And then they did it, and the beautiful, massively amazing, smart people did it. They created a KFC popcorn pizza,
Those
popcorn
crazy
chicken
sons
pizza.
of bitches.
They
did it.
Finally did it. They finally
How
did
did
it.
my shorts get wet suddenly?
Things got a little tighter just now. I don't even want to eat that. I honestly do not. No part of me wants to eat that. I know that.
I really do. I
know
really
that Mo
do.
is like big into popcorn chicken, but like
That
it's
shit is
fine. But I
dope.
don't need it with gravy and cheese on it.
Listen, we all got a massive void in the center of ourselves, spiritually, and the way that I fill it is with gross food all the time.
Yes.
Like, don't get me started on how much I love cheesy gordita crunches.
Oh
Or,
my god, dude. They're so
right?
good. They're so good. You give me
Right?
fucking you put pan cheese on any fucking food item and it is immediately 1,000 times better.
Josh agrees.
Listen,
He's doing tippy tappies.
He's
I
doing
understand. Listen, I understand that like a burrito, quote unquote, at Taco Bell is literally just like a mini 2-cent pita
Yeah.
or tortilla, like tiny, with just like slop
Oh
and a
yeah.
little bit of cheese.
She
It's just
nasty.
slop.
She nasty.
But
Food tubes. Food tubes.
yeah. Well, you're a tube
But I
too,
don't-
so
I just need that slop in my body so that I can stay somewhat regulated. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like terrible afterwards, but that's all. Listen,
100%.
we all have
Cleans
we all
you
have
out.
our things. And it doesn't clean anything out, except you feel even more empty inside after, and you're just like, why did I do this to myself?
and then you
I've eaten Taco Bell like one time in my entire life.
what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I don't like all those things in the '90s that came out that said like all the food poisoning scandals that came out of Taco Bell. It completely deterred me. Every time I see it, I'm like, I don't even consider it an option.
I'm certain that Taco Bell is actually one of the healthiest fast foods that you can
Probably
buy.
is, but
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll eat it.
There was
Fine,
a reputable
fuck.
study.
We'll go after. We'll get some Taco Bell after the
Yes!
podcast.
Yes,
So before
Ev, we're doing it.
yeah,
Hey, bring me some cinnamon crispers.
Oh, cinnamon twists.
Yeah,
Fucking
bring me some of
love
them.
Those are like pork rinds, but less gross.
Josh is very excited about all the food talk.
I know. He's like,
Yep.
give me that fucking donut.
So you
mama."
had this magnificent
So-
accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finally made it happen. Me and my nephew were waiting for it. We were like, when's the day? When's the day? And then I got my tooth surgery, so we couldn't do it. Because he's the only one who gets it, because he's like 19.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the age where you got to just consume greasy crap.
Yeah, I think 19-year-old me would have been really into it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I'm still probably.
Travis, you got to try it. You got to try it just for the experience.
I
think I was
act
Are we
like
supposed
I
to
act
age
like I
out?
make, I act like I make healthier food choices now than I did when I was.
I was gonna
19.
say,
Yeah.
are we
Definitely
supposed to
don't.
age out of bad food choices? Because I didn't get the memo.
I
Yeah,
also
No, it's just that when you're 19, you don't get super sick afterwards. But
True.
well, you do,
That's
but
true.
less so. You know, it's like when you hit a certain point, your body is like slowly dying. So it's like, why are you doing this to me? I
Got
don't
home around
I don't have the
7 o'clock,
capacity.
Went on the toilet, emerged about 11:30, went to bed.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm still thinking about those Swedish berries.
So was this?
I'm
was-
getting cinnamon
So
twists.
if you had to like, okay, so we're gonna break this down into so presentation. What would you give presentation out of 10 on the KFC?
I
Pizza
will
Hut?
say the presentation was very well done. They actually like there. I've seen some online comments and complaints and slander against this pizza that there wasn't a lot of popcorn chicken. This thing was loaded. I took a picture.
Yeah, those
It's
claims are
loaded with
unfounded.
popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolute nonsense. I will say my one disappointing factor was because it didn't have like real sauce. It was a little dry. Because
Okay, well, we're just on presentation. We're
yeah,
not there
presentation
yet.
is amazing.
So
yeah,
what do you
okay,
got?
sorry,
What do
I'm
you get
jumping the
at-
gun.
What do you get out of 10 on the presentation?
I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
That's high
Obviously,
marks.
like
That's
you can't
solid.
really
Yeah.
put. The only thing they could have done that would have been better is if they literally threw some tendies or some like not wings, some chicken legs on there. Like that's the only
damn.
way I would have. Yeah, like, hey, KFC, if you're listening, just throw a thigh on there. That's all I'm looking
Just
for.
a random
Just a
thigh, and
drumstick.
whoever the lucky bastard is that gets that slice.
All right, so now we're gonna enter into straight taste, just taste. How did it taste? What was the what's the rating?
Was it umami?
It was really good. It was basically a cheese pizza with a bunch of popcorn chicken on it. So it was perfect, except it was a little dry. I think they could have put more gravy sauce on it. I have tried the old poutine pizza at Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And if Pizza Hut executives are listening to This Is False, please use the same gravy composition used on the old poutine pizza if you relaunch a KFC popcorn chicken or some sort of pizza in the future.
Okay, third and final category. And maybe you covered this already with dry, but mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel was amazing because the
I just
cheese
set this up
blends
so I
into
could
the
say mouthfeel. That's the only reason I did this.
Listen, when you take popcorn chicken and you put some cheese in there and it blends together with the pretty premium style pizza bread that or pizza dough that Pizza Hut engages in, it has an almost earthy feel to it, but one that's very satisfying. I mean, if you're looking for
like
a
you're
pit in your
describing
stomach,
scotch for fuck's sake.
Earthy pizza.
I tried to make it
Some undertones of
but in a good
deep
way,
fry.
you know.
little too many hops too. They added more hops to it.
It has an oaky afterbirth.
See, I wanted to say that, but I wasn't sure if people would get the reference. That's Community, right?
Yeah.
Office.
Oh, The Office,
The
right?
Office,
The
yeah,
Office.
yeah.
Yeah, Michael
Okay,
Scott.
afterbirth. No, I can't handle
So
this. This is amazing.
mouthfeel. What would you give it out of 10?
I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Dryness was the key that keeps
Yeah.
it down. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
lost
so,
some points on that Pizza Hut.
So taste, are we giving 10 out of 10?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
You can't put KFC on it.
So
Literally,
8.5, 10, and 7.5. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good pizza.
That's a viable commodity.
Yeah.
in
As far
the
as I'm
future,
concerned.
I will literally just be buying popcorn chicken and melting some cheese on top. Like,
That also
this is
checks
the lesson
out.
that I've
Yeah,
learned.
I mean,
And
that does actually
maybe
sound
like
like it's
mixing it
pretty
into a can of gravy, like one of those canned gravy things, just
Oh.
plopping it together,
Fuck
mixing
my
it in a
life.
frying
Yeah.
pan or something.
I get cheese. I get cheese on my spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's, and people look at me weird. But
And
it's
you're
so
a goddamn
fucking
genius for doing that, by the way. The first time I
So
saw you order that,
good.
I was like,
Good.
excuse
Cheese and
the
mayo.
fuck out of
Don't
me?
get your fucking lettuce, tomato out of here.
Get
Fuck
it out
that
of there.
shit.
We don't need some
Listen, you know what
vegetables.
Wendy
Cheese,
should
mayo,
do?
bread, chicken.
Now, see, if they
Pickles.
timed it by 3, it'd be a real Wendy's sandwich. Wendy's should introduce a triple for their chicken.
Speaking of Wendy's and
triple
weird
bypass.
combo shit, before we move on, and we should because we're like half an hour in and we've lost half our audience. But did you see, Mo? You probably almost definitely saw this. Did you see the Wendy's Pringles
What?
coming together?
No.
Dude.
What?
Baconator Pringles, my man.
Shut up. This is
Baconator
we're
Pringles.
getting we are getting more. I mean, I'm assuming all of these, horrible things have started in the U.S. I'm just assuming.
I don't think you should be calling them horrible.
I mean, okay, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I redact that.
Baconator good, Pringles good. I don't see what the problem is.
That's fair. You know what? I stand corrected. I'm so sorry.
Did they ever
Jesus.
bring back the spicy baconator?
Yeah, I think so.
I've never had a Baconator.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with beef from Wendy's because I worked for Wendy's.
Yeah, I
and
know. You
I've
wouldn't even let me
seen-
enjoy my fucking chili
You
that
don't
one
want to
day.
know how the chili's
Listen,
made.
I
You
don't
wanna
care.
know,
I don't
eat
even
the
care.
chili.
We're not
chili.
talking about it. Wendy's
It's
forever.
made of people.
I'm just gonna say 2 words, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Don't say chili drawer.
Chili drawer.
No.
That's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Chili drawer.
That fucking scarred me, dude. Like, and then I
This
mean,
seems like something from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or
It's a thing
something.
at
Like,
Wendy's.
yeah, you got your poop knife.
In other words, Wendy's forever. Give me. I'll dip my head into that chili drawer. I don't even care, because
it's in a
Wendy's for life.
motorway.
Exactly, 100% with a ladle.
Travis,
I'm
let's
just gonna
not pretend
sip
that-
it with a ladle.
Let's not pretend that we didn't immediately go to Wendy's after that.
I get the spicy chicken sandwich. That is a chicken breast with bread. It's a breaded chicken breast. I can see the muscle tender. I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
Right. And that was just an automatic reaction.
It's not like chicken nuggets from McDonald's where it's like that might not actually be chicken.
And I
This
am
is
That was a
happier
chicken
with
goo.
that. Give me all the filler. I don't even care.
It's like 3/4 sawdust. Pretty sure.
100%. That's totally okay.
It's not possible because the beef at Wendy's, there is something magical about it. There is
Yeah,
something.
it's
it
never frozen.
glistens.
It's never frozen.
Look at
That's
that.
their thing.
See?
It's also
Yeah.
square because they don't cut corners.
Ah, look at that. That's pure. That's pure square. The shape of cows,
That's
I don't
As we all
remember.
know,
I
is
don't
a
remember it.
or square, or whatever. Same thing. Four sides. It's basically a triangle. What do you want from me?
The
Basically.
shape of cows. Notoriously square.
those square cows. View upon my pasture. See the square cows. Anyway, we should really.
Yeah, we gotta
They're
move
built
on.
like a box van. It's true.
I mean, I think the reason we're stalling is because we expected to have major news that
Yes.
we don't have.
That's true.
We promised we were going to talk about the Amazon workers in Bessemer, Alabama, and their unionization drive. Go Bessemer.
Woo!
We don't know if they won because apparently it could be weeks before we know because of all the bullshit chicanery that Amazon's been pulling, and both sides want to make sure that the vote is legit. And I was reading about it, and it's like, yeah, no, the workers should definitely be taking their time with this one because
Yeah.
Amazon's pulling some fucking shit.
Yeah, and how sure are we that Amazon, like, what's the, like, do the workers get to count them first before they hand them over? Because I'm concerned.
I'm not entirely. I think it's independent. I think they have like independent
thank
counters that have witnesses from both sides watching the count.
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
just-
usually how they do that sort of thing.
I just don't trust Amazon as far as I can throw, like, the Empire State Building. So, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they messed with it before. They started voting during the votes. Why wouldn't it be
Yeah.
something they would do afterwards?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So apparently we're not going to know. Again, the organizers are very confident that they're going to win, and you don't really typically hear that unless they actually are confident that they're going to win. So, but you never fucking know.
Yeah.
We thought Bernie Sanders was going to be the next president of the United States, and here we are.
Yeah.
With Joe fucking Biden,
All we got was
who was in 6th place
Cold Man and Mittens.
after the Nevada caucus. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so we just don't know
Yeah.
what kind of bullshit people in power are going to pull to make sure they get their way. They always figure out how to do it.
And by the way, these are standard tactics that are quote unquote legal because they are legal. These
Yeah.
are tactics that management has always had because labor laws don't make it very, very difficult for you to unionize.
That's right.
Right. So what we can talk about instead is the unionization drive a little bit, and maybe some of the stuff that Amazon has done both as an employer and also what they've done in this specific unionization drive.
Oh, there's some fun stuff on that, but
Yeah.
what are y'all saying?
Well, so I was gonna turn that over to y'all. And by y'all I mean Kit and Mo. I have lots, but
Yeah.
I know Kit.
Kit's done some research, and I've just seen what I've seen on Facebook. So
I got some stuff from
don't
a few
listen to me.
reports that I was looking at, and stuff I just sort of absorbed over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't even know where to start. Like, where do you start? Do you start with the people they're inserting into the actual fulfillment centers to skew people's opinions?
Yeah.
Do you start with the weird surveillance mailbox and the forced mail-in ballots? Do you start with
that one's fucked.
do you start with the billboard ex-convicts?
Yep. So
Do you
before we get into
start
that,
with-
let's talk about a little bit why they are trying to unionize. I mean, we're of the opinion on this podcast that every single goddamn worker on this planet should be in a union, but why specifically Amazon? What's up with them? Why are they particularly bad?
Their working conditions are terrible. Every move is tracked with a GPS thing they have to keep on them. Some of the employees actually have to download apps on their phone that will like track what Facebook groups and stuff they're in. I forget the name of the program, but I was hearing about it through the Amazon podcast. And they were saying that they had a couple ex-workers over. He was an ex-worker and he started a podcast about it. People that would like urinate in bottles and stuff because the bathroom is so far away from their station and they have a set amount of time. And if every minute you go over, you get deducted an hour. If you're over, I think it's if you're over 15 minutes late, you're deducted an hour of work.
Okay.
Which should be illegal, but Alabama's got some weird shit
It
going
should be
on.
illegal, but that's also I
And
guess
other places.
we're only at a half hour that you get deducted, I think.
Now in Canada, that's different because Canada labor laws are a little better.
Yeah.
So I imagine they're not openly breaking Canadian labor
No,
laws.
they
but
probably aren't.
They
But
typically know where the line is,
yeah.
and they go right up to it, and they find new ways that aren't yet illegal to do things.
Yeah, they do
Um,
pre-legal things.
So like
They do these. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say I can't say, like, we talked a bit about how, like, so and I've heard some of this stuff, like, kind of firsthand, the kind of surveillance that they do of their workers while they're at work, and sort of the GPS stuff and some of the, like, advanced technology that Amazon has developed to track their workers. And a huge part of Amazon's business is doing that, developing it on their own workers, and then selling it to police and military and other companies so that police and military can monitor populations during protests and other things, and also other companies as well. So
Yeah.
that's a huge part of their business, like, that goes well beyond, like, they're literally doing business with, like, fascist militaries in other countries. Like, here's some real great surveillance shit so you can keep a better eye on your populations.
Yeah.
Like, you're welcome, Amazon. You know, like, that's the kind of shit they do, and they develop it on their workers in North America and elsewhere.
I always think
They have-
about Mom from Futurama when I think about Amazon.
Oh my God.
Like, Mom Company.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fucking amazing. Anyway, sorry, that's my input. Continue.
They
Can we
have.
talk about the Twitter accounts?
Oh my god,
Oh.
the fucking fake Twitter things?
Is that what the AI pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Tell me more about that.
Go
I
ahead and
didn't. I
explain.
didn't look
Yeah,
into
I
that.
don't think I've heard this.
It's fucked.
Oh, okay. So, Amazon, this is a very common tactic among all kinds of campaigns at this point, because anybody can make a fake account, and you can pay hundreds of people to pay to create fake accounts on Facebook and Twitter and on Google and whatever, and do whatever you want. Or yeah, like, so Amazon, I don't know if this was an internal thing or they just contracted somebody out, and probably didn't pay them enough either. And they created these really obvious fake Twitter accounts, which is like Doug at B43 or like
It's like-
Amazon worker Ann, you know, and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're super obviously fake. Tell us about the profile pictures and everything.
Oh my god, they're like stock photos.
Of, like, women eating salad.
Yeah, they're women laughing at salad. That's what I saw anyway. And the handle always has Amazon in it.
So it's easily searchable, of course.
Yeah,
would do
it's
that.
so fucked. And it's
And
all
the-
like, it
and
would
the-
be a shame if I was forced to join a union. I have kids to feed. Imagine you can't opt out of those dues. It's like, you'll be making more, dude.
I saw a dude on TikTok today who's a construction worker of some kind, and he was saying how he often interacts with other construction workers from different companies on the job,
Yeah.
and they're not unionized and he is, and so
Yeah.
he's always trying to, like, tell them, like, hey, you should unionize because I make way fucking more money than you.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, prove it. And so he would, like, show them his take home pay. Be like, here it is, it's double yours, and we do the same job. The only difference is we have a union and you do not. And they're like, nah, bro, I know, like, the union's taking 80% of that. I know, my boss told me the union's taking 80% of that.
Yeah, your boss fucking would.
like-
Your boss did.
Like, he's showing you the take-home pay, you fucking moron. Like, I mean, it's like, but I mean, I don't mean to shit on people who fall for that kind of stuff more, but, like, there is this notion that unions just take all your fucking money. Like, union dues is so negligible on every job I've ever worked that's in a union.
Yep.
It's like a few dollars a paycheck. Who gives a fuck when you're like,
Yeah.
it's doubling your pay?
You're paying more into your CPP or your, anything like that. And
And
you're
not
getting
to
the
mention
benefit
that
immediately.
a lot of times I've seen the unions help with big money when it comes to workers that have been injured or are ill or have
Oh,
lost
yeah.
their house or whatever. So I mean,
Yeah,
you're
well-
paying in, but what you get back is, so much more beneficial than that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and when
long-term
your
beneficial.
managers try and fire you, like, who do you think's coming through for you? It's the union.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things they say is that they won't be able to talk directly to you. But anytime I've worked with the union, I've been still talking to my manager. I've just had someone there that said, actually, that's illegal for you to do to my employee or to our employees.
Yeah.
If you try
Also,
to pull
I
some
wouldn't-
shit on me, I'm gonna go to my union.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
usually how it works.
Who wants to talk to their manager, by the way? My life would be so much better if I never had to talk to a manager
Exactly.
ever.
Don't threaten me with a
Like-
good time. Fuck.
Yeah, I elect my union rep. I don't elect you.
So some details about Bessemer specifically. So the Bessemer, Alabama Fulfillment Center. I fucking hate that term. First
It's not
of all,
fulfilling.
it's a warehouse. Fuck off. Fulfillment center. Where everybody's getting fulfilled with giant Jeff Bezos dick up my ass. Fucking so Bessemer, Alabama has 5,800 workers. I believe it's the largest fulfillment center warehouse in the U.S. It's the population of Bessemer is, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's majority black, and as is the facility. Majority women as well. And one of the chief organizers, Jennifer Bates, you should go check out everything she says because she's incredible. She's been like the one kind of going on the news a lot and like sort of saying like this is why we're unionizing.
Jennifer Bates, she's
great. They're unionizing with, or attempting to unionize with the RWDSU, which is an offshoot of the UFCW, the United Food
Commercial Service
Workers, yeah. And it's the retail, wholesale, and department store union is the actual thing. So just some other stuff. 10-hour shifts with 2 15-minute bathroom breaks. That's all they get. So, and you know, we know about Amazon in general. Jeff Bezos has increased his wealth by $65 billion since the start of the pandemic. What else have I got here? I just had random facts written down. They call their workers associates, which they're not alone in that. And it drives me nuts because associates makes it sound like you're somehow on the level with them, and that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've got stocks.
Yeah. 19 workers have died in Amazon's plants since 2003. One report I was reading from the RWDSU said a couple really interesting quotes here, and I'll just read them, and then we can kind of talk about how fucked this is. So the report notes that between 2013 and the time of publication earlier this year, 7 workers had died at Amazon facilities. According to the report, 2 were crushed by forklifts in the warehouses, 1 was run over by a truck, 1 was killed by a driver in its parking lot, 1 suffered a fatal heart attack event during an overnight shift, 1 was dragged and crushed by a conveyor belt, and 1 was killed and crushed by a pallet loader. 2 more Amazon workers were killed just weeks ago when a warehouse in Maryland partially collapsed during a storm.
See, they failed they neglect to talk about the people that have also committed suicide at work.
Right. A New York Times article following up on an expose in the Morning Call stated that a Pennsylvania warehouse, quote, stated that at a Pennsylvania warehouse, quote, so many ambulances responded to medical assistance calls at the warehouse during a heat wave in May that the retailer paid Citronia Ambulance Corp to have paramedics and ambulances stationed outside the warehouse during several days of excess heat over the summer. About 15 people were taken to hospitals, while 20 or 30 more were treated right there.
Wow.
It's disgusting.
They paid an ambulance company to just chill out by their fulfillment center because of how many people were getting sick.
Wow.
You can't make this shit up.
No, I know.
It's like...
He's evil.
Yeah,
it is absolutely futile. It is.
And it's completely disgusting because this is like Amazon is such a case in point of like why we need unions. You know what I mean? Like, because it is the absolute, it's like the new fucking Apple factory, you know? They're one step away from, I don't even know if they're doing this, but they're one step away from locking their employees in the building.
They do it. So
they're one step away from installing suicide nets because now we've had multiple employees jump off roofs at Amazon.
Right. So funny you should say that.
Yeah.
Because this past week was the 100-year anniversary of the Triangle Shirtwaist factory fire in New York City. Wow.
That's why I was bringing that up.
And please, if you are unaware of that, go and Google it. I mean, and prepare yourself. It's really fucked up.
And but one of the images big things, are in that, and they're horrific.
Yeah. One of the big things there was that when they tried to escape the building from the fire, the emergency exits were locked because the company was worried about employees stealing and union people getting in to unionize them.
Yeah.
So, this was from the UK. While Amazon publicly disputes it, in the UK, an author working undercover in an Amazon warehouse reported that his coworkers were peeing in bottles because they were worried that taking a bathroom break could result in being disciplined. A separate survey reportedly found that almost 3/4 of UK fulfillment center staff members were afraid of using the toilet because of time concerns. Because they have like crazy quotas they have to fill in order to keep their jobs.
Yeah. And you don't want to get docked an hour's pay if you're late coming back from a break or something like that, or if you're like, you know.
Like,
And that
The
is
fact
a
that-
very that affects people disproportionately as well. Not everyone can pee in a bottle.
Yeah.
And think about people that are menstruating.
Yeah, fuck. Man, you don't want to be riding that
10-hour
Diva Cup
shift.
too long, man.
10-hour shift, 2 15-minute breaks when you're on your period.
I wonder what the rate of toxic shock syndrome is at Amazon. Like,
Yeah, seriously.
yeah,
Like this is what
Or
we're talking about.
UTIs because you're holding it in.
I guarantee UTIs are through the roof there.
And it's not like these workers have fucking health coverage either.
No, their job
know.
is literally making them sick. I mean, if people are committing suicide at work,
Yeah.
there's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Yep. Someone name checked Jeff Bezos in his suicide letter.
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
And meanwhile, Amazon is paying people to hang out in Facebook groups.
Yeah.
And they have software that monitors the groups and will break down like the questions, the concerns and stuff and download it into specific categories so it can be searched later by upper level management and stuff to see who's talking about it.
Nice. Good to have that technology, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fascist governments love that shit.
Yeah, the world is really
No
going
wonder
places.
they're buying it
Yeah.
off of Amazon.
No wonder
So
Amazon
that-
hasn't been stopped.
Motherfuckers
Imagine
like
if
Lex
they,
Luthor.
Imagine if they just like used all of the technological advancements to like improve the conditions
Yeah.
and like made it easier for people to do the jobs.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they've already
Wouldn't that-
got the tech. So, like,
Yep.
why not just...
Another way they were oppressing people with their technology was that they would have like captive audience meetings where they would make you come in during your shift and talk to you for hours about how shitty unions are and how you're going to get screwed over by your union. And then if you correct any of the information or question anything too strongly, they bring you to the front of the room, take your picture, and document what concern you had.
Yep. I heard that one on a podcast. I think it was Pod Save America or Pod Damn America. Sorry, that had that on there.
And they would have this database then that they could cross-reference.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, and so Bessemer is just one of many fulfillment centers throughout the United States and Canada and in the world. So, so they voted to unionize, or they're voting to unionize, or whether or not they're going to unionize. But so let's maybe get into some of the like you're kind of touching on them already, but some of the more anti-union tactics. So I'll start with one, and then I'm pretty sure we all know of at least one that's coming out of there. So one of them is that Amazon. So one of the ways that organizers were organizing, because they're not allowed to do it on Amazon property, is that apparently going into the Bessemer plant, there's 5 stoplights that go into
It's
it.
like a Chrysler.
Yeah, exactly. And so those stoplights would stop people for up to 30 seconds or even longer in some cases. And so organizers were using that opportunity to go up to cars and talk to workers directly on their way in and out of the plant. So Amazon went to the city of Bessemer, or the town of Bessemer, whatever, and went to their council and said, we need to change the we need to change the lights because of safety concerns. And so they got it so that the lights would change under less than 10 seconds, which immediately caused accidents, by the way.
Yeah.
But Amazon was just like, oh, we control the fucking stoplights.
Yeah.
And they pull out all the stops for this shit, right? They pay hundreds of millions of dollars a year. This is probably on the low side of the estimate, in order to like do these anti-union campaigns, right? And again, it's like the easiest thing of organizing. It's like if unions are so fucking useless, then why do these companies spend so much time and resources telling you that you don't need them?
Exactly.
Because they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't fucking do that if they were so like. You don't see like little coffee shops doing that because they're not really at risk of getting unionized very often, right? So they don't bother doing it, right?
Yeah.
But when these big companies do it,
If it's worth it for the company that you work for to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on union busting activity, then you need to question why that's cheaper than you being in a union.
so
Why that makes more sense for them.
who wants to talk about the formerly incarcerated workers thing
Let somebody else do that.
somebody else?
I will.
Yeah. Okay.
So they hired and targeted formerly incarcerated workers to stand with anti-union placards like billboards outside and around the plants so that they had to be seen by people on the way in and out of the factories.
Yeah.
And it's like targeting people that can't get other jobs any other way.
Yeah. So they have to set aside their ethics or probable ethics to get money, which is like pretty common for everybody, basically.
So before we say anything else of importance, Kit is frozen.
In video?
Yeah.
At least on OBS, I don't know.
Now Kid is gone. Kid is back.
There we go.
Okay. Just didn't know if your internet was going to cut out again, so I didn't want to keep talking. But
Yeah, I think it was just video.
Yeah. Okay. So, that's another thing they're doing. Taking advantage of formerly incarcerated workers who can't get jobs in the community otherwise, and who knows what their actual thoughts are on unionization, but they're desperate for money and they'll do what they got to do. Which is just real fucking bottom of the barrel shitbag scum material.
Yeah.
Any other particular thing you heard about them doing?
I mean, hiring people to come into the Amazon facility and shit talk Amazons to workers on the ground is really like a wolf in sheep's clothing thing that they've got going on. I mean, that's really, really common in other corporations who are trying to do some union busting and things like that. Like that's usually ground level, like where you start, you know.
At the place in Poland, I want to say it was in Warsaw, but I may be mistaken. The place that they actually hired to do that they planted seeds, like planted union busters in the facilities, was actually called the Pinkerton Detective Agency.
Jesus Christ. They're just so fucking brazen.
Yeah.
This is how much we've let them get away with for the past 50 years.
They flaunt it now.
They just flaunt it.
Yeah.
Pinkerton Detective Agency. Tell me more. I don't even need more, actually. It's descriptive.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, one of the things that, like, really gets me is that, you know, we need to return it. Like, Vio's never been on this podcast, but one day maybe Vio will be on this podcast.
Vio, please.
Vio has this attitude that I quite honestly respect when it comes to unionization. We need a little bit more thuggery.
Yeah.
We need a little bit more like, you know what, you're going to pull some shit, we're going to break your fucking legs. That's what we need, a little bit more of that shit, because that's actually when unions were pretty effective.
Yeah.
It's when you're like, you cross the picket line and you're not going to have legs to use. Like, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's serious. That's where we need to get back to, because this is like when my grandpa talks about unions, that's the shit he talks about. That motherfucker taught me how to make a Molotov cocktail, and he was like, this is how you do it. This is how it's effective.
Because the violence that these people bring upon workers is just so disgusting.
Yeah.
And they do it in the open, and they don't care who knows it.
Yes.
And there's no way that even 50 years ago that would be happening.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, unions would be like burning the fucking factory down.
I was just gonna say.
Get called a Luddite a lot when I say to burn it to the ground, but I mean, it's effective.
Hey,
well, I mean,
you know what?
also...
Do you know what started the conversation on defunding the police? When activists burned down the fucking police station in Minneapolis. That's what
in Minneapolis.
did it.
Yep.
We need
Burning
to get
shit
back
down.
to that.
Fire is cleansing. It is a symbol. It's effective. Let's just burn some shit down in a video game.
Mo, what do you have for union busting Amazon bullshittery?
I got two things. I wanted to throw this out there just to lighten the mood because I wanted to talk about it with the Twitter thing, but I didn't slip it in time. So one of their fake Twitter accounts, also like this is, and then this will lead in perfectly to the union, but because I got a lot of thoughts about unions right now. So one of their Twitter accounts was literally they took the picture that they took was from some band, which I haven't listened to, but the band is called Dude Perfect, and it's like who. It's this bearded guy in the center of this band called Dude Perfect, which we will play on the podcast one day after I screen them. But it's like we're talking about they're spending
like a neo-Nazi punk band or something.
Yeah, I hope something comes out of this.
Is this on the social media accounts that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah. So literally, someone just took a picture of like I guess they searched bearded man smiling or something, and it's just this guy. Who
They're
looks
not
like
even trying to be good at this. That's the thing that gets me. They're not even trying to be good at it.
That's hilarious.
This is the thing, right? Because here's the thing. It's almost impossible. Like not to be a downer at all. It is if you're not going to fight with your management and you can say they're your friends and you've worked with them for years, and you go drink, you go hanging out together or whatever. They're not your friends. And when you unionize, they're going to come for you, not only with these half-baked bad campaigns, which I don't think is where the money really goes to the lawyers that are used to say you're not allowed to unionize, to delay the process, to prevent you from getting cards, to finding out who's unionizing, firing all your union workers, to lobby lawmakers,
to get right to work in your state.
Yeah,
but then even if you manage to, and again, I'm not discouraging. If you want to unionize, go to a union. Like, please talk to me, because I'm going to make a video about this eventually. And just like, I've just been so down about it because I've been a little. I did get some news that really reinvigorated me, which is that like organizing is happening, and like all these unions have different styles of how they do it. Whatever.
I saw
unionize with the IWW.
I saw a survey that said that unions are more popular than they've been since the 1960s.
Which is why we should get going and start.
It turns out when you fucking force people into servitude and bullshit living conditions, they'll eventually fight back.
That's why in a video game we should be burning shit down. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Well, but I want to get into that a little bit, because here is where I think there is a flaw. And we could spend a lot of time talking about Superstore, but the way that they laid out the processes is not perfect.
Yeah.
But it's actually surprisingly accurate in a lot of ways.
Superstore is an awesome fucking. We should do a whole episode where we just talk about the politics of Superstore.
I would absolutely love that.
Seriously.
The actress that played Dina was just on CBC. Sorry, we have CBC playing 24/7 at my house. She was just on CBC saying that she couldn't believe what they got away with on that show and the discussions that they had around it.
Yeah.
Also, what's her name? Lauren Ash? I think it's Lauren Ash is the actor's name, but she's from Belleville, which is really close to where I grew up. And I know people who know her and like went to school with her and shit.
My ex-girlfriend was from Belleville. She was cute as hell.
Belle Vegas, what?
What? She was from Picton. Never mind.
It has a casino, so people call it Belle Vegas.
Nobody cares about Picton.
Nobody gives a shit. I know.
No.
I mean, nobody cares about Pickering either, but that's neither here nor there. But okay, hey, listen, activists out there who want to unionize, it's not an easy process. You got to get ready for a fight, and also you probably have to shame your management at some point. Because here's the thing: you're going to get your card signed, you're going to get everybody on board, then you're going to submit everything, and then you got to wait for it to get submitted, and then you got to have a vote if they don't recognize you. And during that process, they'll try and get some of you out, and then you'll have the vote, and then they'll do what Amazon does, or did, and what most managers do or employers do. Which is that they say, okay, we're gonna challenge. We don't think this member is allowed to vote, and this person is allowed to vote, and that person is allowed to vote, and then it's going to take a bunch of months to get that ratified. This happened with OPSU, who were trying to unionize the part-time college faculty, and it happens all the time because it's literally a terrible legal tactic built into the system to prevent you from unionizing.
Yeah,
where they can just hold off a vote. I think the first time they did that with the college faculty, the union drive just got shut down somehow. I don't remember the details, and then they had to do it again.
Yeah,
but then say you get those cards
in,
and they voted to unionize, and your fellow colleagues voted to unionize, and it's ratified. Then you have to negotiate an agreement.
Yeah,
you're not actually protected. Oh, I hope no managers or employers are listening to this podcast, but you're not actually protected that much while you're negotiating your first collective agreement.
Right.
And that could take up to 6 months to a year, in which case the employer can find a way to get rid of you, which Walmart does a lot when Walmart unionizes. That's why you don't see many unionized Walmart stores.
They have people on standby.
But then, assuming you get through all of that and you manage to negotiate your first agreement, then you have to deal with the employer just constantly trying to undercut your union contract.
Yeah.
And the union will do their best, but they know that it's a negotiation, so they can't just get you everything. Because again, you don't have any protections that much until you're unionized and you actually have an agreement.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So this process isn't easy, and it's not designed to be easy anymore. Before, like, it was a little bit easier because you could kind of just do whatever, because the trade-off was that the trade-off for being less militant was that unions get union dues and get recognition and are recognized as organizations.
And dues check off.
That was the trade-off, and that's screwed us.
Yeah, well, it's a deal with the devil, right? It's the same thing. We talk about wider social democratic stuff. When we talk about social democratic policies that are like vaguely left-leaning, it's a deal with the devil. because we know it's essentially a deal to make sure that capitalism continues unabated. And well, we're gonna make sure enough of you are doing okay enough that you don't complain about
gonna
it.
placate you guys. And
But
then,
eventually that wears away.
Yeah.
And it goes right back to being, an extension of feudalism.
Yeah,
right?
it's a way to sustain capitalism for as long as possible because it doesn't work otherwise.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like 6 contract negotiations in and you've lost almost everything you started with in the first one.
Yeah. And just to wrap up on the managers aren't your friends thing, like I mean, I was part of a union campaign here locally with a business that is like progressive. The owners are like union guys, progressive lefty guys.
Yeah.
And, they did the same kind of union busting tactic bullshit that everywhere else does. And I was like friends with these people, right? And like, and I still am actually. And like, but they did some things, and I'm not even sure that they would characterize it as being anti-union stuff. But some of the stuff they pulled was just like, oh my god, we thought you were chill. Like we thought this was gonna go well and easy because we thought you wanted this.
Yeah.
And in
Isn't
fact,
that how it always is?
they never do. They never want it. They may talk a big game about it, but they don't. They're not your friends. You're gonna have to call them out. You're gonna have to tell people how shitty they are because you do need public support, even in small, tiny unions.
Yeah.
To make it work.
I mean, from their perspective, they're just protecting their business, but that's not.
It's the problem.
That's the problem, exactly. But I mean, like, we
And
still want.
nobody was coming for their business. Is the ironic thing? Like nobody wanted to see that business close.
No,
In
everybody
fact,
still wants
business.
jobs.
Yeah.
You give people a fair wage and benefits and whatever people need, and you know what I mean.
And
maybe your
oftentimes, like
business
it's small things like training and shit like that that actually makes the business run better, but also
Absolutely.
helps the workers. Like it's just,
You also-
scheduling, consistent scheduling, that kind of shit. Right?
Yeah.
It's not always about money. A lot of time it's about other shit.
Yeah, you also get the public facing, knowledge that your workers have unionized and it's a good place to work, and for a business like that one,
Yeah, don't give any
I'm
details
not gonna.
about it.
I'm not
'cause-
gonna. But for a business like that one, that makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
The public facing knowledge.
The broader point is that like you may be in a situation where like, well, my managers are cool, the owners of my business are cool, they're progressive, they're pro union guys, they talk a big game, they're my friends, whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You need we were naive because we went into we ratified or we sought recognition as a union and actually got it, and then they just kind of like Mo was saying, when you think you're good, you're not.
Yeah.
This is stuff
Yeah.
that can come. And just be prepared because we weren't. We went naively thinking they're going to want this.
Yeah.
They're going to want this because of course they are. And not only did they not want it, but they pulled out some shit
Yeah.
after that I still think about sometimes and go, holy fuck, these people that I know and love did this. That's insane to me.
Yep.
And that was just over a tiny little business. We're not talking about a massive factory or a conglomerate of some kind. This is a tiny little small business.
Well, you're not operating as a worker anymore. You're operating as a business owner. So you're not considering the workers' needs. Like you're considering your needs.
Yeah.
As a business owner.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're thinking I can unionize my tiny little workplace, just be careful. It's not going to be as easy as you might think it is.
And reach out to your local IWW because there's a really good chance that they have some experience in unionizing and can help you.
Especially for tiny businesses. That's where we thrive. That's what we're actually good at doing.
Yeah. We're effective in tiny businesses.
When it comes to big conglomerates, we can help out, but it's hard for us. And I don't mean... there's people in the IWW that would definitely kick me in the face for saying that, but, it's true. At a certain point, we need the big guns of, a Unifor or something like that to come in. We just don't have the resources.
But the good news is that you can reach out to those places as well.
Yeah. And we can help you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a lot of small workplaces, a big union might not actually be able to take you in because, in order to the way the model works, where you have staff representatives and stuff, unfortunately, a lot of small locals, they can only take a certain amount of small locals before it overworks the staff reps too much.
Right.
So the IWW, because of its more local activisty model, is a little bit better placed for small workplaces, and in those places you can do you have a more of an ability to take on some of these more activisty methods.
Yeah.
To negotiate.
Like all that stuff, like the no board and all that crap that you have to go through. Listen, the IWW, we're not really, like in Canada anyway, we're not quote unquote a certified union. So even if you unionize under us, you have to like certify yourself under your own workplace.
Yeah.
But the advantage that gives the IWW is that we don't have to pay attention to the law either.
Exactly.
So if we want to stage a fucking wildcat strike, well, we're not violating the law because we're not recognized as a union. So we can do more direct action sort of things. And like I bring it up all the time. We worked with the workers at the Windsor Circus School here a few years ago, and there was about 12 workers there that were getting really screwed. They were forcing these workers to try to sign these like really prohibitive contracts and NDAs and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they approached us and were like, "Hey, can you help us?" We only had, I think, 2 or 3 of the 12 workers who'd signed cards.
Yeah.
And we won.
Yeah.
We won within a day.
Because
we showed up.
Yeah.
And we made it impossible for them to run their fucking business until they dealt with us.
Yeah.
And so what did they do? They dealt with us.
Because that's the thing.
We didn't even have to unionize the whole place. We just had 2 people.
That's the thing is like you have wobblies that are able, like most of the wobblies that every wobbly that I know is down to like put boots on the ground and go and do
we usually have
direct
to be
action.
restrained from doing crazy shit if we
Well, yeah,
if we're
some
being
of
honest.
us do. I mean, like a lot of times some of our ideas that we come up with, people are like, whoa, I like where your head's at, but geez,
reel it back about
just
4 steps,
reel it back. But like but it works in kind of like collaboration where everybody gets everything together and we all get ourselves pumped up, and then we're like, we're gonna go and fucking do this. And because we're not an actual union, we get to do some more direct action, like radical shit, and people see that kind of stuff. Especially when you're a small business in an urban core, you have a ton of people walking by.
Yep.
It can be really effective to do the loud shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done now.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And
I'm all pumped now.
we're so if you want to join the IWW, no, I'm just kidding. Well,
Yeah, but do it.
You
I'll do
know
it for real, but not joking.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes. But
If you say no, I was just kidding.
yeah,
Unless
and
you're gonna do it.
I've said it on this podcast before, and I'll say this again because it's really important. I think it's really easy to look at the world as it is today and get real fucking cynical.
Yep.
And be like, there is no way out. We're all just gonna die on a fiery ball of flames pretty soon. It's coming up. It's gonna be bad. And you're probably right. But here's the thing. There is no better feeling in the world, and I know this because I've felt it and I've heard other people talk about it. There's no better feeling in the world than solidarity.
Yeah.
Over like getting some shit done in the face of unbelievably stark odds. There's nothing better than that. The reason I'm so fucking in on Bessemer and why I'm so fucking excited is because they do that shit. It is a monumental achievement that is going to change labor in the United States. And like, I just feel so good for them. I feel
know.
like because it's so fucking hard what they've been doing for years.
Yeah.
And that feeling of solidarity is the antidote to all the bullshit cynicism that we all feel every day, all the time. Organize with your fellow workers, and you will feel better. I guarantee you. You may not win every time. You're probably going to lose most of the time.
But you're going to get a taste of solidarity, and you're going to get a taste of, like, collaborating with your...
It's addicting as shit.
Hell yeah, it is.
And it makes you want to do it
trauma
all
bond.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trauma bond, yeah.
Exactly. You'll all be trauma bonded. It'll be fine. You'll all be texting each other at 4 a.m. being like, oh, God.
And there'll be people that you don't really like.
Yeah.
That you're working
but there
with.
always is.
Yeah, and you're working with them, and you love them. You kill for them.
Because they
even though
are
you
your
don't
fellow
really
worker.
like them. Like that's like solidarity has that way of doing that.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's good. It's really refreshing, and it's really reinvigorating. Like, everybody gets burnout at some point. A lot of us are probably going through a lot of burnout right now.
Mm-hmm.
And having that solidarity is a really good kind of way to recharge your batteries and really get ready for action,
It's a fucking speedball.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Solidarity
Stop
is
doing
a
drugs and I
speedball.
joined the union. That's a true story.
There are people. That's a thing that happens a lot in our
No,
union,
that's actually that happened to me.
Yeah, we've got more than one member who is like sober because they signed a union card and they're like, this is the moment that I'm
Yep.
changing things. You know,
Yep.
so like it's a thing.
I'm putting my energy into more useful and tangible ways that are going to make a difference, except for, you know, in ways other than how much I can afford to pay on my bills this month.
Yes.
Yeah, which is not.
Is there anything else we wanted to say about Bessemer or about the union drives? Oh, there's two things actually. To answer my own question. Maybe we won't do the one because we are running a little low on time. But if you just Google Amazon workers in Italy, if you want to hear about more Amazon chicanery and what workers are doing to fight back against it. By the way, if you make your logo a smiley face, you're just setting yourself up to have that shit turned upside down and being used in a union campaign. I'm just saying, Amazon.
It's true.
Same thing with Walmart too. Like, what are you doing? It's real easy to change that.
I like Watchmen the shit out of that Walmart logo.
Yeah. So this is a story that's more local in nature. This is from CP24, noted GTA media outlet. Ontario Labour Ministry investigating Brampton Amazon site ordered to shut down over outbreak. So you might have heard some of the stories from the Canadian press, actually, apparently. An Amazon warehouse that was ordered to shut down last week due to a major COVID-19 outbreak is also being investigated for potential labour violations, the Ontario government said Monday. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Labour said the investigation was already underway when local public health unit ordered thousands of workers at the Brampton, Ontario facility Friday to isolate for 2 weeks. We continue to work closely with Peel Public Health and others to provide support, advice, and enforcement as needed, etc., etc. So Peel Region's top doctor said the outbreak at the Amazon facility, which employs approximately 5,000 workers. Josh, Jesus Christ, man, you're killing me.
He's fallen over. I'm sorry.
Peel Region's top doctor said the outbreak at the Amazon facility, which employs approximately 5,000 workers, began in October and has since been linked to more than 600 cases.
Jesus Christ.
Which is very different from the public-facing things that Amazon has been putting out over the last several months about how they've been so good at keeping we don't even have any cases. Turns out they were fucking lying. Who knew? So more than half of those cases were detected in the last few weeks, prompting the public health unit to issue a special order requiring the workers to self-isolate for 2 weeks starting March 13th. And they're investigating other labor violations. Gagandeep Kaur, an organizer with Brampton-based Warehouse Workers Center that advocates for workers' rights in the sector, said conditions have been getting worse in the facility for months. She said workers were kind of surprised that it took so long for public health to get involved and force the shutdown. And then she went on to say that people reported that safety precautions like physical distancing have been impossible to maintain inside, especially as workers rush to meet strict productivity targets. So this shit happens in Canada too, even with our slightly better labor laws.
Yeah.
Ask anyone working at Windsor Assembly.
What's that?
Ask anyone working at Windsor Assembly if they feel secure in their jobs right now.
Wasn't there a whole thing about there being 280 some odd cases that just didn't go reported?
Yep, they had a whole bunch of unreported cases.
And wasn't the union and the company squashing that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't want to slander, but I think it was.
Yeah, we got to talk to you-know-who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo, do you know anything about that?
No, I mean I follow 444 on Facebook and stuff, and they were always posting updates. So I don't know anything about that.
There was someone that worked there that had posted some like kind of whistleblowing thing.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah, and then it got shared.
The workers were obviously aware it was happening, and they were like, "Why isn't the media reporting on this? It's a huge outbreak."
So let's report on it. Yeah, we should do a little bit more reading into that, and then maybe talk about it.
Yeah, maybe.
We should all talk to our friends that work at Windsor Assembly and get some stories as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, there's never-ending trove of topics for this podcast that we just keep saying we're going to do, and we will get to them eventually.
Yeah, when we're old and gray.
We're going to have to do a thrice-weekly podcast.
Okay, Grandma.
You say that now, and then you immediately regret it because you're like, depression.
Because I'm the one who's gonna have to edit it all, and fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's set a Patreon stretch goal. If you donate, if the total donations ever reach $5,000, we probably still won't do thrice weekly, but we'll be very, very happy.
We'll
Yeah.
do twice weekly. We'll commit to twice weekly if we get there.
Hey, there
Yeah.
we go.
We're currently at like $64, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a while.
That's okay. It's fine. This is fine.
Patreon.com/thisisfalse. Please go. And we haven't had a new patron in months. It's been a
Well,
long time.
We're kind of asking people for money in the middle of a global pandemic.
We are. But I know
So,
some
you
of
know,
you.
just
I know some of you
fucking-
motherfuckers have it though.
Yeah, you guys are really send us your true dollars.
Give us your money.
Come on.
Don't make us show up at your door in a video game.
Come on, baby. Send them dollars.
We'll watch Office Space with you and point out how it represents many aspects of the modern life, despite being about, 20, 30 years old now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
forgot.
movie has aged extremely well.
It's an incredibly good movie. Every single time I am using a photocopier, I'm like, damn, it feels good to be a gangster. And also, I really still have to do that TPS report tattoo on my leg.
Yeah.
Because I want to look at it and be like, don't ever fucking go back. But I will immediately if someone hires me.
Okay, so let's skedaddle.
Okay.
Did I just fucking say that shit?
Let's blow this pop stand.
Let's fuck right the fuck off.
Let's blow this
Twerking
pop.
hard or hardly twerking.
That's when we unionize the strip clubs.
That's right.
That's what
Also-
the tagline's.
It's a good slogan.
Josh wants to also, just at the very last minute, apologize for almost falling on my microphone. He has brain damage.
Now he's falling asleep and it's very adorable.
It is very adorable.
Oh, I love that dog so much.
Love you, Josh.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, bye?
Yep.
Okay, bye.
Bye.